is day 1286 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. Still in the middle of the war. The anti-Semites are rearing their ugly heads around the world. So, which this learning should be a schus for Am Yisrael, for Eretz Yisrael, for the soldiers, the hostages, anybody who can use the schus of our learning. Okay, we are there, Simukub Tzadik Dalet, see if you'd base the Chaf. You'd base Delashar Rambam. Ketzadini let us bezoy. What's the law of a woman who gives birth? Bezoiv. I don't know why Arukh HaShulchan felt he had to be marach on all these halachas which are not no gay b'zmanazeh. But okay. If she has to sit Shim Nakim and Toivo at night, at the evening, the Bible, then she moves to her husband, afterwards, if she bleeds again, she can have dam Torah. Maybe a carbon zav, a carbon yoletis, she brings a carbon for a zav, and a carbon nabi yoletis. So she gave birth to a male. The blood ceased on the day of the birth. So for Shim Nakim, she has to count Shim Nakim and go to the mikvah. Yoda Nekeva, which gave birth to a female, was suffering for Shivnikim, and she counted Shivnikim with Shalom, Yudal Shiledo Achrem, and she then completed the 14 of the birth, or I'm not sure what Achrem means here. Harezu Tabels Mutez Bash, she can go to mikveh and is mutter to her husband. If the days of the sphere culminated within the 14 days, so he's also to husband until the night of the 15th. Ketzad, how so? Ratio Saddam Shlosh Yamim. So blood 3 days. So for Shiminikim and Yaminikim, count 7. Now Yud, that's 10. Daniel so Bala Alel Tezvot, she still has her husband until the night of the 15th. She called Yadal Ray Kanida of all the 14 days, she's like a needle. Lame Matsurim Matsuchim Masias Bezol, the sphere of Shiminikim, Shiva, Achar Shiva Shilzacha, Achidal Shanekeva. Why don't we make them count 7 days after the 7 of the male and after 40 female? Because the days of her birth and the days of Anita, when she's not seeing, if such a thing can be imagined, only lower spheres designed to account for 7 clean days. That's a Turk, she's born. Because of Rashi B'Tshuva, I would also mean a time you may later, Rabbi Adam argues those days of later in which he doesn't see blood, animal in sphere, they don't count for sphere. Both concerning Karashi, Rambam, most of us like Karashi the Rambam. Again, it's not no good, nice. You gimel, you let us bezov shlo pas akdama. The woman gave birth as a zava and hasn't ceasing blood. And no dam Torah. She has no dam Torah. Everything is going to be ziva. It's one source, so the days and 2 days of Tarek Mosh Kasavnu, came long no Sakaziva, so the Ziva never stopped. These are done, so according to us, the Choli Shah the Ilakas, so every woman we assume is your letters. So any Choli Torah calls much la Pasab Dama, she can't become Torah until her blood stops. Even those places, which I guess don't exist anymore, where they had Bia with Dam Torah. The Tavla, if she can't Shimon Akim, again, it's not impossible, essentially. But you can't Shimon Akim right after giving birth. It was Shomli Yudal in the cave of Tavla, and then for 14 days in the cave were completed, and she went to Mikvah. Chagaros Adam Tochar Boim Mazachar, and then she saw blood within 40 of a male, was showing the cave, and 80 for a female. Hareza Dam Tor. That's Dam Tor. So I guess in that highly remote scenario, you have Dam Tor Bezmanazeh. Being suffered Shimon Akim below Tavla, she can't Shimon Akim. Didn't go to Mikvah. Chagaros Adam B'Tachim Torah, and then she saw blood during the days of Torah. I raised him with Tavel. She can go to Mikvah. Being Mutaz the Bible with the Torah. She's Mutar Hazim Deraisa. Then she called him a Torah. Because during the days of Torah, she's not neither nor Ziba. If I feel with Shalot Tavla, she can go to Mikvah. I will Etzem Adam Matame. I feel in Torah, but the blood makes her Tame, not Tuma, not Asur Labaila, just Tame. I feel may Torah because much lo Tavla Achar Nakim as long as she has gone to Mikvah after Shimon Akim the Mayan Echadu, because it's one Mayan from which Kosavnu lo Tefillah lo Nitar Adam. Without Tefillah, the blood is not Torah. Actually, she's also her husband until she goes to Mikvah anyway. Okay, so I said before, it's not relevant. Yudalit. Shtanu Chacham Mishnah. Chachamim taught in the Mishnah, Hamak Shatok Shmona Shon Keva. If a woman is about to give birth again, she has labor during the 80 days on the Keva. Kol Dam Shira Tahori. All but she sees the Torah until the child is born. She's already made Torah. When she became she became pregnant during the Torah. I'm not sure this is actually scientifically possible. Or she had twins, and one twin stayed inside 2.5 more months than the twin who was first born. Because one of them finished during the middle of the 7th month. The other finished at the 9th month. Hadam she rub Bakoshi, the blood she sees in her labor. Abishen Koshi in the volume, even though there's no labor for miscarriages. The blood she sees and the result of labor is no worse than the blood she sees without labor. She most, which is Torah within those 80 days. A Torah Shatapi of blood. She's Torah until she miscarries. Shatapi, when she miscarries, stays to male later. She's Torah 2 months later. Pila Zachar to my Zachar. It was a male to my Zachar. The Keva to my Yudalit. And she was female 14. Money make the Masa. And she counts it as the Tumi, May Melos, and the days of the Yom Tor, May Vlad changed from the second child. For you, Tomim, even if they were twins, Yom Vlad Echad, they she miscarried one. Lachar Kam Mimi Bila Sheni. And 7 days later, she married the second one. Mona Kom Sheni. She counts all from the second one. Tesla, because the Rambam Shamadin Yud Dayud. The Rambam writes, Zov Shapasak Zovav Yischil No Shimon Akim. When the Zov ceased and she started counting Shimon Akim, Yuval Dam Koshi Akim, and she got labor blood during the Akim, and a source that doesn't undermine them. But I mean, she counts the day for 7 days. I guess the 7 days of. I guess even though seeing bloods, it's Dam Koshi, so she can still keep Shem Nakim on account of the Zov. That's a big Kiddush. In which case, birth during the clean days, ain't a later sisters. The later doesn't contradict the clean days. You may have later only love the Shiva. They account for the 7 days of Ziva. She thought it's made by her, even though she's tummy. She can't go happy with her husband anymore. Anyway. It says if she comes Torah from her Ziva, even though she has another tumor like birth, and Nida with Saras, or Nida or Saras, which is totally out of left field, she counts them in them. They don't contradict the sphere. The Rabbi contradicts this. He says that the Dama Koshi doesn't break the Shivakim, but those days don't count towards the Shivakim. Indeed says only it doesn't break the Shivakim. That's the Ram nearly the Svili the Zer totally. Ram holds that they're contingent on each other. Came in the Ksiv im Torah mizava v'safra. She started even just from her Zava. Ziva, and she counts going there. He came in the Shira mizava v'lo mituma cheres. Since he died from Zava and not from another tomb, it came in male, the Gam Safra Allah, Gamkin Kehu. Safra is also like this. The Chol Makom, the Shetar, Amiziva, the Safra Allah, and then she started from a Ziva, she counts. Bracket, it says, it came in the later, Kaiba Karava Shan Data Sosas Oila. Since by birth we count all like Rava, that doesn't break the Shemakim. And it counts him Kulkenu. So the other tumus as well. Dam Kosher Nachshav Dam Klam Nishma Deitzar. The blood by labor is not considered blood because it comes by anguish. Tesai, the Meili Dasa Meidi Dasa, the days of her birth and the days of Nida, in Losa Ben Don, if she doesn't get to see blood, they count for Shimon Akim. In Rosa Ben Don, she saw blood, and only may those days don't count, but they don't break the pattern of the other days. And she pays up. No, it's Mashlemes, she completes. Alayamin should suffer on the days that she counted. When she stops seeing blood. Shane says Hakol Elrio Shazov. It doesn't the only thing which undermines the entire count is Ziva blood. But these only break their own their day. V'zeu dumi to carry b'zav. It's like a zav who saw carry. Doesn't undermine his count, but the day doesn't count. What about what they said that in any place it doesn't break, it counts. That's when there's no blood. Later, but if there's the re'iyah of nida later, how's the count for nikim? How enim nikim? They're not clean. So, what the Rambam says before in Tes Vav, obviously he's talking only about dam koshi, which is not considered anything because dam leda and dam nida are considered perhaps not disrupt completely, but those days don't count towards the count. So the Zel dictate Rambam says Yom Levad. The only count, there's brackets. The only count break there. They claim at Lomatam Stira. It's not that they actually break them. They don't count. Okay, because the Rashi Shalom they carry the Zolam because Stira. It's not called breaking, but not counting Ein Shamaduk. You die if he managed boy, according to which he said the Vadam Koshi ate a body de ziva. The blood of a labor doesn't count for ziva. Okay, because Meir said Yesh Makshim Chufnun Yom. There's a woman that has labor for 150 days. Vein Zava Lobahen, and she's not going to become a Zava during them. Kate said, how so? Shnayim Bloy this Nidasa. So 2 days before her Nida time came. And then, of course, she's not a Zava because didn't get to see 3 days. Veshiva Nida, and then she saw 7 Nida days. And Shnayim Achar Nida, and 2 after the Nida days. The Chamishim Shavlad, the tire, and the 50 days that the Vlad is Matahir. Before birth, and 80 days of Nekeba. Besides Nida, at 7 days of Nida, Shnaim Achar Nida, and 2 days after Nida, Ein Sham. Meir's feeling in the Mishnah Sham, Meir holds in the Mishnah there, the Kisha have a Chamishim Yom. The Kisha is 50 days. The other kind of Yudal Yom, to us, holds 14 days. Efshel Swak Kuf Yudal Yom, it's possible to be only 114 days. Chenkos of a Rambam Sham, and so since that's if you hold the labor 30 days, well, it's only 14 days, so it'll only be 120 days. That's what the Rambam says. Torah says, you'll let us in the days of a ziva in Rodam Leidasa. If she sees the blood when she gives birth, Shiva Nakim Idam. She said Shiva Nakim from the blood. Meitar Shorabahan ain't only on the Sphira. And the Meitar, which she sees in them, they don't count the Sphira, even though they're Torah. You know, Kol Yodos, Choshvos, Choshuvos, Yodos, Bezov, all consider Yosov. It's not possible for the cervix home without blood. Hilkach therefore Klomar. Meaning Keva, not Toichmir, that Firos Tipos Dam Kachad, Shivnakim, since now even for a drop of blood, they should Shivnakim. Kizava, more like a complete Zava. Vana Kaimon, the Yoshem Silas Kevil Dam. It's not possible for the uterus to open without blood coming out. The Loka Rambam, Gamel Koyodos, Dinon Kildos Bezov. So women who give birth, they're like Yoletis Bezov. The low Shivnakim Leitar and without Shivnakim, they'll never become Tahora. Feel Makum Shabolim al Dam Torah, even places where they do use dam Torah. She first has to get clear of the blood of Ziva of the Leda. He's a little shachadol. Call him she's baru. It's all the dinim and learns are not relevant. Why? I gotta go through them. Every lettuce requires 7 clean days. You test. If she doesn't count the seed during the 7 days after giving birth, only she doesn't count for Shivnakim. Afilu. Lo Pascha, even she didn't, I'm sorry, I skipped. I feel you in the cave, but Yemish gave birth to a female. Vloras of Shivim and Shayim is in siege in his 7 first days. Volos for the Ziva, they count for Shivnakim for the Ziva purpose. Vloras of Shivim and Shayim, the fact that she sees then afterwards, ain't no so say she doesn't break that count. So that's actually down, and then she can after 14 days. I feel Lo Pascha, she's bleeding because now it's Dam Torah. From Ramban says she mutares to tzich shivnakim mishativsok. It's just a sorry. The Ramban says it does undermine the count and needs shivnakim once she stops seeing blood from during the 14 days. And then you have the rest of the first part comes show. They got the Ramban shevein mucha karosh. The Rambam's also connected to Rosh Hashanah Ramban, who the Ramban holds that came into Rosh Hashanah since you saw in the second 7 days of an Akeva. Of in the cave, Kol Yidal Yom Hein Mei Tuma, and the drink in the cave all 14 days is Mei Tuma. Kol Yom Arichta, it's all like one long day. Kol Dam Shura Bem, but she sees it, and I feel Rosh Sof Yidal, at the end of 14, Have it Karos at Chilas Yidal, it's like seeing the beginning of Yidal. The brackets he says here, Veilim Markavas the Rambanu Lefimi Nagenu. Can't say the Ramban is going to Armin. Shein Bolim Al Dam Torah. We don't use Dam Torah at all. Okay, my point. Okay, my point. If you come to Rabbi Zera, in that case, who's arguing on this? According to Rabbi Zera, I'm not sure what he's saying by that. Lefimi Mashkas the Rabbi Shem Rosh the B'Yas Yom Yashnim Loki B'Chum Rabbi Zera. Okay, but that's the answer. According to what Bach said, then the second of the 7 of the 14 days, Rabbi says it's not apply. They only do it except that when the seeing causes nidos ozivos, you make tuma and gormin klum, and there's the tuma don't cause anything. Okay, yeshu actually the Ramban kimshutan, because it's already done. Can we wrote this even for according to us? Rosh was kind of zepo. They Rosh Argus and him. Kenya Akar, that seems to be primary. Okay, if not, Divrei Ramban ain't muvanim b'tamon. The words of Ramban are not understood v'duk. Ayin tas yuchanav v'yesh tarz kushiyaso v'duk. Chav b'imkom shabolim al dam Torah. In places where they do bia on dam Torah, which we don't do it. Kiziru Chazal lifrosh mishto leil memal lezochar leil peyaf in the keva. Chazal said separate for the 41st day for zochar and the 81st day from the keva. Fil or sadam even didn't see blood. V'tagmishtov the reason is came a chish urgul livli lachush li as damish meitar, since she wasn't concerned with seeing blood during the days of Torah. The chen chayshim were afraid she mitoch hergel out of habit gamatot tireh. Even now also she'll see blood. Not be concerned. According to this Torah, where we don't take dam Torah out, answer into account answer so you don't need the separation. Not accustomed to see blood and be tahora. They might say raga and make Torah. He sees blood during the Torah. We might go to the mikvah. We never found her lachush lezebed on his head to be concerned with this in our day and age. Brackets he says yesh chush chas chush gam bezman hazeh. Those who say to be concerned in our day and age, neitam u'shel bahag shkas to having shas vesta. The Vag writes it's like shas vesta for some reason. Karkas v'tas sif kan beis leis man chashlo. We don't regard shas vesta. Toshanach lovud varav klavvar. The words are not brought up. Can't move funny because they're not understood. It's like the gan kavanas the bahag ukachol plaiskim. The kavanah of the bahag is also like all the plaiskim rakus mani yobolim al dam Torah. Back in the days of bahag they were still bol dam Torah. That's it called Shas Vesta. Klamar, she has to separate herself with even though she doesn't see blood, as if it's Shas Vesta, because she's getting back into the rhythm of things. And the next Sif is going to say, bring that we are Machmir. Why we're Machmir. Okay.